What's up, football fans? Welcome back to another video. It is time for the review of game week 4 in the Premier League. So we had game week 1 to 3 and then international break. The first game of the day saw Manchester United travel to St Mary's to take on Southampton after a 2-game losing streak. Southampton, on the other hand, were looking for their very first point of the league season. Up until about the 30th minute, it was almost all Southampton as they attacked United and had them on the back foot, and they won a penalty, and it was saved by Andre Onana. And about 5 minutes later, Matthijs de Ligt opened up the scoring for Manchester United, with Rashford scoring just before the closing of the half, and that was about it. The rest of the game, when the second half started, was mainly Manchester United all over Southampton, and once Garnacho was introduced, Jack Stevens ended up with a red card after going for him, and I think he was the last man in that tackle. But the game ended with a Garnacho stunner that he put into the top corner of the net, just getting it over the keeper's head. The second game of the day was one of 5 games that took place at the same time, and it was a game where there was no goal scored. It was a 0-0 draw between Brighton and Hove Albion and Ipswich Town, with Ipswich Town keeper Arjan Muric keeping them in the game and almost stopping everything that Brighton was testing him with. And both sides had their chances. Ipswich Town had a chance later on in the game, but unfortunately, no one could win it, and it was a point apiece. In City's game against Brentford, Yoane Wissa scored the fastest goal of the season in 22 seconds, but Man City, as usual, called on their superpower, Erling Haaland, who bagged a brace, and that was almost a hat-trick for him. If he had a hat-trick, it would have been 3 hat-tricks in 3 games in the league, but still, City ended up victorious. The next game saw Leicester City take on Crystal Palace, who have currently been struggling quite a bit, and the promoted side, Leicester City, looked like they were going to be heading for something special. A 21st minute goal from Jamie Vardy, a beautiful goal for him to get himself through, assisted by Wilfred Ndidi, who also got the second assist for Steffi Mavididi's goal, and it looked like Leicester City could be in for something special. However, as the game progressed, a minute after Mavididi's goal, Jean-Philippe Mateta picked up a goal. He was assisted by Tarek Mitchell, and right at the death, Mateta then scored a penalty that gave them the draw. And Crystal Palace are still looking for something special this season. The next game was an absolute cracker over at Anfield, and it saw Liverpool taking on Nottingham Forest, in it, which it put 2 of the league's sides who were taking the most shots against each other. The game was very tight, and it was one of those where Liverpool weren't really taking their chances. However, late on in the 72nd minute, Nottingham Forest took their chance, and Anthony Elanga, former Man United boy, giving the ball to former Chelsea player Callum Hudson-Odoi, who curled it in beautifully into the bottom corner, and Alisson was left stunned as he hadn't even moved. That goal, though, was enough for Nottingham Forest to get a victory at Liverpool, the first one of theirs against Liverpool in 55 years. The next game that was also part of the 5 games that were taking place at the same time, and the final one of these 5 games, saw Fulham up against West Ham United, and Raul Jimenez grabbed the goal for Fulham in the 24th minute, assisted by Arsenal boy Emile Smith-Rowe, who joined them in this window, and he continued his fine form for the Cottagers. The next game saw Fulham taking on West Ham United, and was the final of the 5 games that were taking place at the same time. Raul Jimenez scored first in the 24th minute, with former Arsenal boy Emile Smith-Rowe continuing his fine form as a Fulham player. And there were many chances for both sides as the game continued. However, none of them were able to convert until 90+5, when substitute Danny Ings became super sub, scoring a late equaliser, being assisted by Jared Bowen, and that was all she wrote, and it was a 1-1 draw for Fulham and West Ham United. The next game saw Everton, who are still looking for their first point of the campaign, take on Aston Villa over at Villa Park, and it looked like a dream start for Everton when they went 2-0 up by the 27th minute after goals from Dwight McNeil and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who was assisted by the goalscorer Dwight McNeil. However, this dream start ended about 9 minutes later when Ollie Watkins grabbed his first goal in about 8 games, and he ended his goal drought, and that was an assist from Lucas Digne, former Everton defender. However, Everton went back to exactly what happened 2 weeks ago, just before the international break, when they were 2-0 up and they lost the game 3-2, as in the 58th minute, Ollie Watkins grabbed his second goal, and John Duran, who has been in fine form, picked up a beautiful screamer from outside the box to win the game for Aston Villa after his 76th minute goal. The final game of the day saw Chelsea take on Bournemouth at Vitality Stadium, and it was a tight game all around, but great saves from both keepers and great chances from both sides. However, it was an 86th minute goal where Christopher Nkunku scored, and he pulled out the balloon one more time, and he was assisted by Jadon Sancho, who was playing on his debut. The first of two games on Sunday saw Arsenal taking on Tottenham Hotspur in a London derby. Arsenal then were quite weakened after a few guys were injured in the international break, as well as Declan Rice's red card that stood after it was appealed against Brighton and Hove Albion. The game was quite a close encounter, with both sides having opportunities and Tottenham playing what was seen as predictable football, where a lot of fans and pundits are starting to say that their football is almost predictable to the point that you know what is coming next, and Arsenal did enough to stop that, with defender Gabriel having a great game at the back, but then grabbing the winner in the 64th minute with an absolutely beautiful header. The final game of the weekend and the match day saw Newcastle United take on Wolverhampton Wanderers, and it was at the Molineux. Wolverhampton Wanderers started off beautifully, getting a goal in the 36th minute thanks to Mario Lemina, assisted by Jurgen Strand Larsen, and that is how it ended at the first half. Newcastle United were quite frustrated and trying to find their way back into the game, and in the 75th minute they found the answer as Bruno Guimaraes assisted Fabian Schär, and 5 minutes later Harvey Barnes scored a wonder goal after a Joe Willock assist. And it was a performance from Newcastle United very reminiscent of the season that they qualified for the Champions League. After all these events of the weekend, let's have a look at the table. Starting at the bottom, we've got Everton in 20th place, 4 games played, 4 losses, -9 goal difference and 0 points. In 19th place, we have Southampton, 4 games played, 4 losses, -7 goal difference and 0 points. In 18th place, and rounding out the relegation zone, Wolverhampton Wanderers, 4 games played, 1 draw, 3 losses, -7 goal difference and 1 point. 17th place sees Ipswich Town sitting just above the relegation zone, 4 games played, 2 draws, 2 losses, -5 goal difference and 2 points. 16th place is Crystal Palace, 4 games played, 2 draws, 2 losses, -3 goal difference and 2 points. In 15th place we have Leicester City, 4 games played, 0 victories, 2 draws, 2 losses, -2 goal difference and 2 points. 14th place is West Ham United, 4 games played, 1 victory, 1 draw, 2 losses, -1 goal difference and 4 points. 13th place is Tottenham Hotspurs, 4 games played, 1 victory, 1 draw, 2 losses, +2 goal difference and 4 points. 12th place is Fulham, 4 games played, 1 victory, 2 draws, 1 loss, 0 goal difference and 5 points. Exactly the same is Bournemouth in 11th place. In 10th place you have Manchester United, 4 games played, 2 victories, 0 draws, 2 losses, 0 goal difference and 6 points. Exactly the same as them is Brentford in 9th place. In 8th place you have Chelsea with 4 games played, 2 victories, 1 draw and 1 loss, +3 goal difference and 7 points. Final part of the table sees Nottingham Forest in 7th place. They've got 4 games played, 2 victories, 2 draws, 0 losses, +2 goal difference and 8 points. 6th place, Brighton and Hove Albion, 4 games played, 2 victories, 2 draws, 0 losses, +4 goal difference and 8 points. In 5th place is Aston Villa, 4 games played, 3 victories, 0 draws, 1 loss, +1 goal difference and 9 points. 4th place is Liverpool, 4 games played, 3 victories, 0 draws, 1 loss, +6 goal difference and 9 points. 3rd place sees Newcastle United jump up by a lot. 4 games played, 3 victories, 1 draw, 0 losses, +3 goal difference and 10 points. In 2nd place is Arsenal, 4 games played, 3 victories, 1 draw, 0 losses, +5 goal difference and 10 points. And Man City close off the top of the table, 4 games, 4 victories, +8 goal difference and 12 points. Erling Haaland leads the goal scorers with 9, and then assists is Cole Palmer and Bukayo Saka with 4. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.